All right, so good afternoon, everyone. It's 3 p.m., and we are delighted to have you join as we kick off yet another insightful session on connecting the dots. First and foremost, we extend our gratitude to our esteemed speakers for their participation in this panel discussion. Mr. Vishal Madan, VP, Head of Engineering and Information Security at IMOCA, Mr. Asim Nath Tripathi, CHRO at Multiplier Brand Solutions Private Limited, Mr. Neeraj Mehra, Talent Leader at APAC and EMEA region at Infogain, Ms. Janani Prakash, SVP and Global Head of People and Culture, Genzion, and Mr. Vipin Kumar, Head HR at Millima. A warm welcome to all. HRA welcomes you all to the session on this insightful topic. AI burnout is real. Are we moving too fast, too soon? To know more about HRA and its events, I would request all our participants to visit the link and details posted in the chat window. I am pleased to introduce our speaker for today's session, Vipin Kumar, who will be guiding us through the discussion with his insights and expertise. Vipin Kumar is a seasonal HR professional with close to 2 decades of experience in collaborating business leaders on strategic human resource planning, providing best in class employee experience, and creating high performance environment. Vipin has delivered on key people and culture transformation projects encompassing business partnering, talent attraction, organization and talent development, HR analytics, and design interventions for future ready organizations. Prior to joining Milliman, Vipin has led the HR team in companies like Cognizant, Infosys, Jindal Aluminium, and CPF India in the past decade. To know more about Vipin, you can follow him on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. We are excited to have you here. Over to you, Mr. Vipin.
Thanks, Faisal. Thanks for setting the tone and introducing us. Uh, Moving forward, we can define the AI burnout as a state of physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion experienced by the employees. This can be due to stress, increased workload, need for learning, as well as implementation at the same time, and handling more complex tasks. A perceived lack of clear differentiation between human and AI responsibilities exists, along with growing worries about job displacement and skills becoming outdated. There seems to be a sense of devaluation of roles as AI takes over meaningful tasks. There are increased symptoms of burnout, fatigue, sleep disturbances, reduced interaction with colleagues as tasks are automated. There seems to be an underlying stress and frustration uh, in community at large. To deepen our understanding of these challenges and explore practical solutions, let me introduce our panel members who have extensive expertise in HR, change management, culture transformation, technology, and leadership. Vishal Madan is the Vice President and Head of Engineering and Information Security at iMocha, a leading HR tech SaaS startup. With over 20 years of global experience across organizations like Amdocs and fast growing startups, he specializes in engineering, leadership, program delivery, and emerging technologies. He is a certified PMP and cybersecurity professional, passionate about writing, mentoring, and building high performing, learning focused teams. Asim Nath Tripathi is a seasoned HR leader with over 20 years of experience, currently serving as CHRO at Multiplier. He has led HR functions internationally across Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. He has been recognized with multiple awards by the World HRD Congress and GPTW. Asim is passionate about training in emotional intelligence, visualization, and ethics. He has authored research papers and various case studies and speaks regularly at various HR forums. Neeraj Mehra has over 22 years of experience, strategic leadership, talent acquisition, compensation and benefits, and HR operations are his forte, focused on nurturing an empathetic work culture, keeping business objectives in mind for a diverse team of 4,500 employees spanning across 7 countries. Also, he has driven performance, career, and recognition at global level, leveraging data and innovative HR practices. During the past 7 years, Neeraj had been instrumental in integrating 4 companies. Janani is a senior vice president and global head of people and culture at Genzion. With a career spanning nearly 2 decades, she is known for driving progressive people practices at the intersection of business, technology, and culture. A recipient of prestigious recognitions, including ET HR Leader of the Year and Business World 40 Under 40. Janani is also an ICF PCC coach, certified yoga instructor, and music enthusiast. She brings her whole self to work, blending empathy, digital savvy, and a deep commitment to well being. Her perspective on burnout, AI, and human sustainability makes her a compelling voice in today's world of work. To kick off the discussion, I would like to ask each of the speakers, in your experience, do you see the current AI adoption in organizations contributing to employee burnout, or are there other underlying factors at play? If I may ask Vishal to start over and then followed by Janani, Neeraj, and Asim.
So, Vipin, interesting question. And just to make sure that I'm justified for this particular webinar of today, there was an all hands meeting at IMOCA, and I did a quick poll over there, and I can confirm that there is a burnout. But in my opinion, it's never the technology that causes the burnout. It's always the poor change management that is around that particular change, whether it's technical or whether it's any change, for example, that causes the burnout. So mainly it's the uncertainty or the lack of clarity around it, sudden changes in workflow, expectations to quickly adopt to that particular change, or enforced goals without equipping the equip with the right equipments like the trainings and tools, for example. I think we sometimes as business leaders are losing the strategic patience. But yeah, again, to repeat, I can confirm that the AI burnout is real.
Okay, Janani.
Yeah, I second whatever Vishal just spoke about, right? I think
Janani, you may have to be
AI,
a little louder. We are not able to
can
hear
you
you.
talk? Can you hear me well? Can you hear me? Okay, I was just saying, I just second whatever Vishal said. AI burnout is real. And I think why AI has been a different technology than any others is because it is touching the lives of almost everybody, and it has suddenly brought everybody to a common platform. And it's just become a very integral part of our life even before we realized it. Everything has happened in a super fast pace in the last 6 to 8 months, though the journey started about a couple of years back. So I think it is real, and predominantly, I would think that it's about the fear of not knowing what it is that's creating the fear. I mean, the burnout more than actual AI itself. If we are just looking at it as another tool, I think it is not going to create the similar burnout that it is otherwise creating.
Sure. So, what I hear so far is it's not really the tech, it's not really the AI, but it's the fear of unknown. So, Neeraj, Asim, do you have similar views?
Thank you so much, Vishal. Thanks everyone for joining in and listening to us. I would rather say that the burnout factor is real. To say whether AI is causing this burnout or not, that is something we still need to figure it out. So AI may cause burnout, as rightly mentioned by Vishal, in case we are not able to manage it. We are not able to manage this change. It's just like a weapon. If you are not able to use it, it will harm you. So we need to first try to learn this weapon slowly and don't expect much that it'll do wonders to you. But effectively, if we are able to use it effectively rather than causing burnout, it can in fact help you for a better work-life balance also. So it's very, very evolutionary stage. We are a very nascent stage. Uh, Whether it's leading to burnout or not, it's a matter of research. Unless we have a data in place, we can't clearly say that it's doing. I have some data I'll just share, but that data needs to be validated. So that's my initial thought on this.
All right. Asim, anything you would want to share?
I was a seam only, so I
Sorry,
think
sorry, I missed
this.
Okay,
Neeraj
so
in between.
maybe I can go next. So I think that let me start by saying that there is a big FOMO, fear of missing out, as well as fear of jobs, which exist in the minds of employees as well as leaders globally. Uh, I think that's the one. That's the first biggest thing which is happening around the world, that people feel and fear the fact that if you don't know AI, you will not have a job in future. And this is something which I feel is really creating angst amongst everybody around. And what adds fuel to the fire is the kind of reports that we get, the way that different CEOs are talking. Like the Intel CEO recently mentioned that we have already lost the bus on the AI. So I think the biggest challenge today is that the fear of missing out that people have, of not knowing what AI can do, and how it can be of your benefit, how you can use it to your advantage, as Asim rightly mentioned, right? It's like a weapon in your pocket that you don't know how it can be used. And a lot of people and a lot of leaders are quoting globally that you will not lose jobs to AI, but you will lose your job if you don't know AI. So I think that I would want to summarize my comment by that only, that the whole idea of the fear of missing out, of not of the unknown, and we have spoken about so many people across the world. We have spoken to our customers as well. A lot of large companies even don't have one or two single use cases available in the organization where AI has been used. But everybody is just talking about AI, and there is so much of buzz. So I think this is something which is really creating anxiety, and the burnout is really real. So back to you, Vipin.
Thanks, Neeraj. Thanks, everybody. So some of the things that I can summarize is, uh, it's not really the tech. It's the way change management is implemented. There is an uncertainty. While there is burnout, it's AI is an integral part of life. Uh, Rather than fearing the unknown, adapting to it, learning and evolving along with it, I think it's the right way forward. Uh, However, to take this conversation further, let me invite Vishal. The question that I have is, what actionable strategies can business or HR leaders implement to prevent AI burnout?
So there's a lot within the HR fraternity, and not only HR fraternity, for example. I mean, it's all the business leaders, I would say, can do a lot. Main thing, the most important thing is to place AI as a co-pilot or as a tool for augmentation rather than as a tool for replacement or tool for automation. Of course, there'll be every company there might be some automation, but of course, if the HR plan well, all the people that are to be replaced because of that AI automation can find different alternatives kind of thing. So that is, I think, the key strategy. Apart from that, enforcing that there will be no goals, but guidelines to start with. Because once you put the goals, for example, then people would be forced to meet the goals, and it can be any particular AI which does not make sense. We don't want AI only, we want outcomes from that AI, right? So that is one thing. So to start with guidelines, and those guidelines in the subsequent years can be converted into goals. I think that is another strategy. uh, Train with empathy. I mean, don't push your training on the people. I think people need to understand that what is AI kind of thing conceptually. What is it bringing it to the table kind of thing. So rather than dumping the tools and the different technologies that AI has come up with, for example, pushing that, I think we'll have to be training with right empathy. Uh, I think detox movement also is a good idea. I mean, sometimes uh, we do nothing kind of road shows, kind of not road shows, I would say, but moments. So I think detox moments with AI. So no AI do everything manual, for example, maybe a couple of hours a month kind of thing, a detox kind of thing. I mean, that will be something good to have. And then, of course, when you're building your AI strategy, for example, take employee inputs, do road shows, because those employee inputs would be really, really important to put the right change management in place before you put the AI strategy. So I think, Vipin, of course, there are a lot more things that people can do, but I think this would be the key strategies that I can think about as at least.
Sure. In fact, I was reading one of the analysts very recently, and what they were mentioning is not to try replacing roles with AI, but to ensure that it is integrated in such a way that it enhances the output. Like the way
Exactly.
you're mentioning, have some guidelines, train with empathy, and and focus on the outcomes. I think that would be the right approach for organizations. Let me also bring in Janani. Janani, same question or a similar question. What role do senior leaders and managers play in mitigating AI burnout? Especially the managers, maybe bringing in their element of empathy.
Sure. So before I respond to this question, maybe I just thought I should state this. There was this picture that was going around in the internet, 1908, sometime New York City, a street which had horse carts and then human beings. Exactly within 10 years, horses and carts are replaced, and there are cars and human beings there. The point is, human beings continue to exist, and we learn how to operate with whatever comes. That's the fact, right? I mean, and bringing this back to respond to your question, Vipin, it's exactly this that leaders will have to do. We will need to tell people that, hey, this is going to exist, this will go, and something else will also come. But I know AI is here to stay, right? But fundamentally, it's about helping people to conquer the fear, because the moment you face the fear is going to go away. I had a team member a year and a half back or so who had come from a banking environment. He was saying, hey, I mean, we were talking about AI and how things are changing, and there was a rapid conversation, and this person went completely muted, silent. And then I noticed it, got him aside and asked, hey, what's happening? Why were you silent, especially in this part? He said, I'm not able to comprehend what's happening here, actually, because you're all from IT and I'm from non-IT. And actually, for me, it was a learning that non-IT people are at a different stage. So you need to, even if you're interacting with people from non-IT background, you have to handle it in the way where you're able to help them understand it further and move through the journey, right? So a lot of empathy from leaders are important. And then what I essentially did was we all did a collective session on ChatGPT with some free source that was available in YouTube, and we worked on everything just like that. And from then on, it became comfortable for everyone, right? It's actually about helping people to get to experience it, so they get over the fear. I think that's fundamental to what senior leaders can do. And perhaps one last point I will say, and maybe pause for others to add in here, is it's also about being very methodical about what you will outsource to AI. It's not about thinking outsourcing to AI, right? You have to outsource. Like if you just take one job, break it into 5 pieces. What is the lowest in order? Can AI do that? Then give it to AI, right? The highest in order is thinking, creativity, or solutioning to problems that have never occurred. Like COVID just came, humans only tackled it. So I think it's about what to give to AI and what to train more of it. I think these are things the senior leaders will need to think first of all and equip themselves and then help others also along the journey. It's a journey where all of us are in it together. I think that's the sense we will need to give to people as well.
Sure, absolutely. I like the way you mentioned people are at different stages of adaptation, and it's important that that organization lead this with empathy and the example that you spoke about, being available and talking to those people who have that fear of unknown or fear of doing things differently. Uh, Now maybe I can also check, Aseem, Neeraj, can you also kind of pitch in and say how do we collaborate between human and AI? How do we build a culture of effective collaboration?
So I think maybe just taking a cue from Janani, I want to quote an example recently. I had to sit for a presentation while doing this program with IM Coicode on sustainability. I had a very limited time and we had a big project report of 45 pages. And I had to present and create a script, which I had to present to my batchmates. So I just used Copilot and it beautifully gave me a script which I could use, for, doing my presentation. So this is one example where, taking the cue from Janani, that where the real work happened already on creating the project, which was a 45-page report, where mind had to really be applied. But when I had to create a crisp summary or a script for me to speak in front of a crowd, ChatGPT really helped me beautifully. So not going away from the real work, but at times understanding that if there is a low-end work that I can do and I can save my time, that's the best way to use AI. How can we make it more comfortable for our employees? We at Infogame, we have given license to a lot of our employees on Copilot for them to start exploring that how can they use it on a daily basis. What we have also done is just to capture that how much of AI are people really using in their day-to-day life. A simple idea that somebody gave was that, as part of them filling up the timesheets, they are just doing a checkbox in the timesheet that I'm using AI or today I used AI to, work on one of the modules. This is kind of giving us an inventory into the organization that, are people really adopting to AI or are they actually using the AI? Uh, Third, I think that we are doing a lot of road shows, which are more encouraging in nature, not to create any pressure, but where we are inviting people who are really enthusiastic about learning AI and they are willing to come up with use cases and also bring in examples for others to showcase, for others to know that, hey, somebody already is doing this and I also become encouraged to do this. We are planning to do recognition program. We are, transforming in the way that our recognition program is that we recognize efforts which are towards that direction. Uh, and, also as a leader, I think the same example that I gave out my project report, I'm talking about it within my teams as well, right? Today, I messaged on my WhatsApp group that, can any one of you share that what is a new platform that you've learned, right? I want to create somebody who's an AI enthusiast within my own team who would become like our coach to the entire team. And, you can tell us that how can we use one of the tools to make our lives better. So I think those are some of the ways that we are doing at a team level, at a company level that can help us to go through that adoption with a lot of more empathy.
Great. Neeraj, these are excellent examples, very practical ones, and good to see something like a checkbox. This is very simple to say. When you are filling the timesheet, do put a checkbox that you are used AI for a particular activity today. And yeah, I think as organizations conducting roadshows, identifying those early adapters, who are enthusiastic, keen in picking up some of these quick wins are an element that people should think of. Maybe I can bring in Asim also. Asim, can you also share some examples?
So I'll just take the point what Neeraj just shared and Janini shared, just trying to put some more angle to it. So as we all have started using AI to be more productive and doing the work in lesser time, for example, creating PPT in very less time. We used to take the entire day, now we do it in half an hour's time. Similarly, we expect the same with our team members also, that why so much time, you have got so much tools available. So that is also leading to a new phenomena that we are expected to be on our highest productivity level, because AI leads to our highest productivity. Do the best first time. You have got tools available. That's the kind of expectation managers have. You've got AI. So why so much time you are taking? So that is a very, very important thought, phenomena which is for everyone. So we used to take a lot of time earlier to write a paragraph and we used to apply our brain. Now we do it first time, couple of revisions best. So the expectation in terms of productivity is changed. Do I need to be high? What kind of productivity my boss wants and what kind of productivity I need to have? So that's a very, very important phenomenon which is playing in our mind. Similarly, what Janini said that front level job needs to be automated or should be automated. That's the approach. And that's where the highest anxiety is. The recent survey has said that 25% of the workers who were surveyed, they said that they feel that their job will be taken away. They are feeling the highest anxiety that they will be replaced and they need to be productive. They need to use so many apps. So one more survey was done on 10,000 workers in US, UK, Canada, Germany. And in that survey, the people who are using 6 to 15 apps, 15% of them, they are likely to miss messages and email. And the people who are using more than 15% of apps, they are likely to miss 23%. They are less efficient than people who are using lesser apps. So multiple apps, so many apps open together and you are expected to perform. So we have to understand from the point of view of the person who is doing and using expected to use AI because there are so many options available. And that is called, new term is called digital overload. It's a digital overload which we all need to manage, and very rightly mentioned by Janani that we need to be empathetic. We need to listen to them because every second day a new app which is more productive, which will make us more productive will come in and we all will expect your AI tool hai, aap karo. Why so much time? Your timesheet should be filled. Then the kind of expectation, managing expectation is getting very, very difficult. Second, it is also leading to learning fatigue. Every time the front level person, Gen Zs are expected to learn new skills, learn new productivity tools, and that is leading a new psychological term, which is worthlessness and helplessness. I am none. I'll be effective only with the tool. So front level, I'm talking about front level. So we have to manage very meticulously the front level workers or front level workforce, their expectation, their engagement level. And one more survey I quote that this survey was done on 2,500 people by like a freelancer magazine in again US, UK, Australia, Canada. And in that survey, 96% of the top executives said that they expect AI tools to enhance their productivity. Everybody wants, and we all. But out of the same bucket, 77 of the people they said, and they are top executive, that they are not sure that how AI tool will actually increase their productivity. In fact, they feel that that will decrease their productivity. That's the perception because of these phenomena, digital overload, learning fatigue, and all. So that's the kind of thought process and perception is having. And two thoughts are going together. It will increase productivity, and how to use it to increase it, nobody knows because of so many options available. So now we'll ask a question: what HR should do to manage this entire thing. The most important thing which I personally feel that we should be very, very open to take the feedback, listening from of HR, top leadership, promoters should be very, very high. We should be open to re-strategize. We should be open to implement the suggestions received from all those users, the way they are impacting their mental, physical health. We should not put a cost on this AI, as very rightly mentioned by Vishal, that it should be used as a not as a productive tool, but as a support tool initially. So it should move slowly. So that's number one. Number two, skilling part, of course, that's there, but skilling part, again, it has a limitation. To what extent you will skill? Again, so many apps, so digital overload, learning fatigue that role will play here. Creating and managing psychological safe environment, again, Janini mentioned. So empathy, use of empathy, and again managing expectation in a way that it supports. We should mention and we should convey this idea that this tool is there for you to support. This tool will not judge you based on your usage from the tool. It's a support tool only, and that's the expectation promoter should also have. You should not expect too much too soon. But again, that will depend upon the industry you are in. I don't know the kind of industry Vishal is in. There it may really make or break thing. But I'm talking about the industries where like manufacturing industries or a little old economy industries, there also AI is coming in. So there we need to be kind of little careful in terms of managing it. And lastly, the transparency in terms of discussion, in terms of conveying the thought of what productivity you need to have it, and what kind of expectation in terms of performance we need to have by with the advent of AI. That's very, very important, right from top to bottom. And HR should facilitate very seamlessly the entire dialogue. So I think this is the kind of these are the few methods which we can implement to drive this culture in the AI era, which is here to stay.
Sure, sure. So Asim, you have already touched upon this aspect of the learning fatigue or digital overload, the multiple apps that are that are being used, and there is expectation in terms of productivity. I'm picking up that topic. I would like to kind of hear from others, and maybe I will bring in Vishal for this particular aspect. Vishal, in terms of reskilling, upskilling, uh, you know, what kind of aspects that organizations should think of to create an environment which does not have much of pressure, does not create employee burnout, yet they are able to enable reskilling and upskilling.
Right. So Asim, I think, has covered the learning fatigue, which is the most important part. But before that, I think before you learn something, you have to have that trust into the tool or technology that you're going to learn, right? Now, I remember, I think 2 years back, when we exposed ChatGPT to the engineering team, we used ChatGPT in a fun Friday uh, session, right? So the questions were around identify the movie kind of thing. So given the theme of the movie, given the actors, for example, or given some particular funny incidents about that movie, for example, we had to identify the movie name, right? And this is the first time in the engineering team of IMOCA we used ChatGPT because everyone was asked to send the prompts to ChatGPT, whatever way they can, and let's see who can identify the movie. The best prompts could identify the movie, right? So that was the first time we exposed ChatGPT in a fun Friday environment to the team. And then, of course, if somebody can give you the movie name from a plethora of movies that we have, and a tool is able to give that answer, for example, surely there is a trust built in the tool, right? Now, how we are extending that particular thing is that of course, we have goals and everything, but we have something called as Einstein challenges, right? So every team has picked up their own problem statements. That is the Einstein challenge. So, for example, I think we already covered some part of it, filling timesheets, for example. So engineering also has its set of 13 problem statements, out of which 7 problem statements have been picked up. And people are expected not only to work on this challenge with respect to the challenge itself from the challenge itself, but to continue with the problem statement and actually use that in engineering form for a long term, right? So that is one thing. Second thing, again, Asim mentioned that there's learning fatigue. There are a lot of tools. So every now and then we hear more and more LLMs coming in, agentic workflow tools coming in, for example, RAG tools coming in, kind of thing. Then AI assisted code development like Lovable, V0 coming in, for example. So I think the focus should not be on tools because soon the tool would be replaced. The, the focus should be, the learning focus should be on the concepts, that what is RAG, what is LLM, what is how the agentic workflow uses, kind of thing. And then the people can choose the tool that they want to experiment with and then go for the tools, because if you start with the tool, the knowledge is lost soon, right? uh, and then, of course, learning cannot be a second job. I mean, there's a lot of things to learn. It cannot be a second job. It has to be part of the job. So expecting people to put additional 8 hours after that, 9 hours working, for example, and then come prepared next day with the training and everything, with the learning and everything, I don't think that's the right expectation. So Yeah, I think I covered everything. Anything that I missed? No, I think I'm good. And guys, feel free to add to it. But thanks, Asim, because you covered mostly the right part of it, anyways, already.
Sure, sure. Uh, Neeraj, Janani, would you want to add any aspect? Anyway, Janani, I have a question for you to follow. But anything to add to what we heard from Vishal and Asim?
Yeah, so I think they both summarized it very well. Some of the ways in which our team has incrementally enhanced in AI is we did AI of the week. Like we have four sub functions within HR, and each team comes up with one AI of the week every week, right? So that makes it like across 3-4 months, we became like a super rich AI team. It did lead to a place where we knew too many tools and did not know which one to pick. But it is a good logical threshold for us to say, okay, I think we need to pause and identify which tool should be trained for us, right? Again, AI can be your assistant or AI can be an Einstein on your desk. So it is about how you use the tool, right? And which means you will need to interact with AI in such a way that it understands you, your world, your way of working, your writing, your everything, and your role. So it's able to position it rightly. Of course, prompting is very important, but these were other nuances we started focusing on. I think together it has helped us tremendously in the journey. At least it's not like we don't operate from a place of, oh, we are missing out on something, and therefore you get into a survival mentality, right? So we operate from a place of, I think we know it, we need to enhance and we need to continuously do it. So we move to a thriving mentality. So I think that's what I would say. Like, just keep it incremental every week, something little, 10 minutes calendarized time every day. I think these ways definitely help a lot in learning, and just be consistent in it.
Great, great. Yeah, I think it's understanding those concepts, doing it incrementally. That's what would enable organizations to to imbibe AI rather than forcing it upon expecting high productivity in a short duration of time. With that being said, you know, while there is burnout, there should be way to identify burnout and differentiate, saying, this is not due to technology. This could be because of the fear of unknown, or this could be because of various other reasons. So how do you identify potential areas of burnout? And generally, maybe if you could start, and I would request others to kind of add on to it.
Sure. So I'll take my own example here, Vipin, because I think all of us have had our own journeys in AI too, right? It's like it just brought us all to the ground, and all of us started at some stage together. So for me, it was like I when I started using in multiple tools, at some stage I realized that there was a decision fatigue. It's like I'm working on a particular, let's say, a concept note or a presentation. I try 3-4 tools, and then I get multiple versions, and then I'm like sitting and thinking, what is it that I need to pick from here? And then I'm like, okay, where am I in all of this? I think that's where I found my answer, right? Ultimately, whose work is it? It's my work, and I'm using these as my tools. So that's when I realized that I had hit a burnout. And I said, okay, I'm going to just pause here. I'm going to think about what is it that I want to give, and then use any of these to augment my work. And if I'm going to relate this to a team or a company context, when I see people going suddenly silent, when multiple topics conversations are taking place, and when specifically AI or digital and there is silence from one or two people, that's a silence that we will need to watch out for and then speak to them separately. Because in many instances, I've been able to identify that there is either an inhibition or fear or something else that's just like a barricade for them to move forward. That's number one. Number two is people are more confident about themselves than AI in some cases. And it can also be the other way around, right? Like I've had new hires who have said, no, 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 I won't use AI. I'm already new. Why should I use AI? And then, like, what if something comes wrong and I cannot put my credibility at stake? I've had that kind of experience and therefore resisting to use AI. So I had to convert such people. And the other way around too. It's like I ask for a document and I get it in 5 minutes because there is no prompting, no thinking, no nothing. Just get it and dump it, right? And let the other person figure it out. So I think it's just about, burnout expresses itself in many ways. This actually tells me that maybe the person is having too much on their plate, or maybe they're trying to learn AI in different ways, and then it's not working out, or they're just using it in other ways. Therefore, I need to help them differently. So I'm saying symptomatically, it will express itself in many ways, and we will need to watch out for it and help people in the way that it will help them and their cause. So I think that's what I would say. Finally, yeah, I think I did cover about resistance, and yeah, that these have been my experiences with them.
Sure, sure. So the key is to watch out, be observant. When people go silent, maybe that's the time to really say, maybe we should take a pause and reflect upon, maybe provide an alternative solution. Anybody else, Neeraj, Vishal,
Just
your thoughts?
Vipin, just like to add, I just want to give the analogy. My son is 11 years, turning 12. So we have set a boundary that how much TV he needs to watch, or how much time he needs to sit on laptop for his school job also. And we have clearly given the time that 1 hour or 1.5 hour, 2 hour. Otherwise, he doesn't know that he goes overboard, and all the time he says that I'm doing useful work only. So I'm doing Mind Spark, Mind, all those apps these kids are using these days. Similarly, as an HR has to work as a parent, we all know that HR works as a parent. We also need to put the boundaries in our company, AI boundary, especially to the infants in the company. So till the time they are grown up, we need to watch them because they are also learning. To what extent you are using everything, not don't do AI. Use your brain also. So I think that's something we need to consciously try doing, and taking their feedback also, that how are you getting impacted, all the pulse surveys and attrition analysis that will throw this data very clearly, and accordingly tailor. Like AI has to be there, like we all are able to use it efficiently because we are mature enough, we know where to stop and where to start, but these guys do not know. So what comes at a time that they are not able to think a word also. It happens many times. If you ask them to write a small email to a client, they will use chat GPT. So one day this will come against them. We are kind of stunting their creativity. So that's a responsibility also HR has, especially these infants in the companies. They should not use AI, more than which is required. So that's very critical. I'm just thought this in as conscious I am for my son, with my son or daughter. Similarly, we need to be conscious with these kids, young kids, because they have to perform. Their aspirations are very high. They have to reach to higher level very soon, very fast. So they will do everything, and by doing everything, they are harming. So if we do not stop and we will not apply brakes in 1 year, 2 years, that will lead to a very, very grave results, and their creativity will be gone. And they will, after some time, they'll ask question, what I am doing? I'm not able to think anything. Everything AI is thinking. So I think that's the biggest challenge we have.
Yeah, I agree. I think for HR, it is to keep the creativity alive, uh, because in today's world, from the looks of it, even the most creative of the tasks are being automated, and the challenge of the teams are going to be saying, how do we keep it authentic? How do we keep it real? And how do we ensure that
And problem
creativity?
comes, problem comes when they are faced with a real-time challenge, when they are sitting in front of a client or a situation, and they need to think. If they don't know how to use their brains, then they will be kind of a blank. They will become blank. They will not have any answers.
Just
Sure, sure.
to add to what he's saying, right? Like the recent research has already been published from MIT that excess use of AI is stunting the brain, right? Like creativity is
Correct.
shrinking rapidly. Obviously, problem solving, trying to find new varieties of solutions, all that. I mean, why is today ChatGPT and other tools able to do? Because we've done it all in the past, and we have trained the AI with all those. Now, if we're not going to continue to train it with new ideas, in 2 years or so, that's also going to give us all stale results. So it's
Yeah.
very important for us to keep the core of what is human alive. And yeah, like Asim rightly pointed out, boundaries is equal to freedom. It's important to keep that, determine the boundaries for ourselves.
Sure. Vishal, you have something.
Yeah, I've two set of people that I'm worried about. One is the human in the loop who are responsible for human in the loop. So let's say, for example, I have an RFP to fill, right? One of the person uses ChatGPT to fill up the RFP, for example, and then sends the RFP to me, 200 questions, 300 questions, and do human in the loop, for example. So I'm not worried about the burnout of the person who is using ChatGPT, but who is doing the human in the loop, because he has an onus on himself now to make sure that he spends 2 or 3 hours for a job that was done by AI in 5 minutes. So that is one set of people. The second set of people I would be worried about is that who are not able to adapt to AI. But since there is an expectation that AI has to be doing things faster, for example, puts in a lot of extra hours so that whatever would have been delivered without AI for after, let's say, 1 week, but with the expectations on AI has to be delivered in 3 days, and he spends weekends and everything just to show to his manager that I have completed this particular task within 3 days. What was the expectation with the use of AI? So that is the set of people. I mean, this latter part, of course, I'm too worried about. And I think there would be the burnout markers, because instead of hours reducing, if the hours are increasing, if the hours are spent towards learning, for example, it's really good. But if the hours are spent towards catching up this gap and everything, and the unrealistic expectations kind of thing, then it's surely a problem. So that was that is what I wanted to contribute, Vipin.
Sure, sure. These are great insights. Thanks for actively participating. And Neeraj, I think you have a point to add as well.
So I wanted to, just comment on, we have a question on the chat that do you think there would be a point where regulations or frameworks will step in to slow down the pace? I think definitely we would come to that point very soon. I think we as organizations and leaders will have to kind of coach our managers to uh, incentivize people who are deploying or doing the work or who are giving the output more, not just with speed, but which are giving that with quality. Right. Ultimately, we have to understand that the chat GPT or any other kind of platform is learning out to the data that we are producing or we are giving it to us. So we have to create those frameworks within the organization that it is not just about the speed, but it is about the quality that comes out, and the adaption has to be incentivized not based on speed, but with the quality that comes out. So I think that's an important point that I feel that needs to seep in into the organization, that while the adoption is very, very important, but ultimately we are here to produce quality for others, for the people that we are working in. And if we don't push our people to apply their minds and only just give an output, because ultimately, even if you are trying to create a framework, like for example, I want to create a career progression framework in the organization. I can go to Chat GPT and start typing in it, give me a result very quickly. But is that really relevant to my organization? Right? You still have to apply that mind. So if my manager is just happy to see the framework and she or he is not interested in knowing that how this is really relevant, and she just incentivized me basis speed, then obviously it is not going to create any value. So leaders have to be coached that depend on quality and the output rather than just on speed. So just wanted to add that
Sure.
point here.
Sure, extremely relevant. I think the focus should be on the quality and creativity of work, rather than only the speed and turnaround. And that also reminds me there are quite a few questions that are there on chat. I see Nidhi asking, what advice would you give to professionals who feel overwhelmed by AI wave? Uh, would any of you want to pick this up?
I can pick it up. So, I mean, advice is what always I would think that we will need to continuously learn. So, learning is, I know adoption is tough, but like I was saying, every day a little bit is one way of learning on your own. And today we are so fortunate in YouTube and Coursera, so many free tools are available, free courses are available. So there is a medium for us to learn, right? That's one thing I would certainly say. Another very important aspect that people typically don't do is talk with friends that are already in the AI journey. Like you could have batchmates. You let's say you're in HR and somebody is in technology and they are working in AI. It's a great opportunity for us to collaborate, just sit, talk with them for coffee conversations, uh, dirty hands with them to learn about a specific tool and just to understand the modality of how it works. Um, Number three is, I mean, just think about your own self. Um, 20 years back, I'm sure all of us have seen at home, we were all washing clothes with hands. 10 years back, it used to be like washing machines were there in 50% of homes, but today washing machines are at 100% of homes, which means all of us have adapted. I mean, it's just to gain confidence from our own life and our own movement from what we were doing manually to something that's automatic, right? So these are just ways I'm able to think of for this particular question from Nidhi.
Vipin, I'll add to Nidhi's concern because I think it's a very valid concern, and thanks, Janini, for covering most of it. But again, Nidhi, I'll suggest one thing that there are various ways of learning. You go depth first or breadth first, for example. In the AI world, of course, I'll say breadth first, because don't go deep into every particular technology. Don't go deep into LLMs. Don't go deep into agentic workflows. Don't go deep into, let's say, RAG and everything. First, do a breadth cover, right, where you understand how, what are the AI pipelines, for example, what is there for AI to offer, for example, the different types of AI, the Gen AI, the machine learning, the deep learning, for example, at a very shallow, at a very superficial level, for example, and then whatever part interests you or whatever part you think your organization is going to use in the near future, get into the depth into that, because you learn everything, you get depth, but if you're not going to practice or you're not going to make it to use, for example, I can confirm that within 1 week or 2 weeks, you'll lose all that particular knowledge. So make sure that this is there. And micro learning. I mean, the whole key is micro learning. As Janani mentioned, there are Medium articles at YouTube. Just do micro learnings. Whatever topic interests you, for example, just pick it up and keep learning. But don't try to do a PhD on each and every topic. Okay. So that's some inputs from my side.
Just to add, to the point that I made at the beginning, I think as always, don't have a FOMO of learning everything, or don't have that fear of missing out. Try and learn what is relevant to you. As one of my fellow colleagues mentioned, that is something that is extremely important. It's very, very difficult to learn everything in your lifetime. So see what is relevant to you, what is important to you. Have your own pace of learning, because everybody has a different style of learning. That's the best way, to remain sane, in this digitally overwhelmed world.
Sure, sure. So message to all of you is to prioritize those small bite-sized learnings. Go the breadth and not really the depth of each of these tools, and set those boundaries which are healthy, and so know what is it that your priorities are. There's one more question that is interesting, which is, what systems or support should companies put in place to help mitigate AI related burnout? So what should be the companies doing?
I'm sure all companies are doing something or the other. Every company wants to be right, be AI aware right now. I'm at least in my awareness, whoever I'm speaking to is having some AI programs running company wide, like to bring people to a bare minimum awareness of AI, so that there can be dialogues happening when two people are meeting, and the basic fear is away. I think maybe we have perhaps crossed that line. We were there like 3 months ago. I know the speed has been immense, but then maybe we have crossed that. However, there are also questions that are very related, right? Like suggested pathway for HR to upskill and all that, because many times HR is in the forefront of running these things, change management and all of that. I would think there are courses available. To Vishal's point, I would absolutely agree that we have to look at what is the broad base and then double click into what is it that will work for us. In Coursera, there is a Google course, and then there is an IBM course. In our company, we have said all HR professionals do it. I mean, at least become aware of what AI is capable of, and it's available for free. Microsoft Copilot provides a free course. Again, if you're a HR professional, you have something for HR. For sales, it's there. For leaders, it's there. I mean, they have just broken it down to so many varieties of people, and most companies are using Teams and Microsoft, and maybe they have access to Copilot too. So it's at least an opportunity for people to become aware of what it is. And there is this company called B10X. It's like they offer 10 rupees AI course. It's amazing, actually. 3 hours course, but 1.5 hours to 2 hours. They actually give you an overview of at least 10 very good tools that you can immediately use. And the moment you use it, it's like you cross the bridge of fear, and therefore you will be able to walk from there. At least yeah, I think I know it. That I think there's just so many avenues available, and I think maybe I'm responding to one or two questions that are here. While companies will do as much, it's also a lot about how individuals will take steps, because individually what's going on, companies beyond a point might not be able to be aware, because they are also grappling with everything and trying to be marketable in this period of time and just manage the bottom lines, right?
Sure, sure. Uh,
Vishal, can I just add what Janani said
yes,
about
Asim.
this? So the question of Peterson, that systems and support, what kind of systems and support organizations should put in place to help mitigate AI-related burnout? So an idea was just coming to my mind that, from after COVID, you must have seen that so many health and well-being companies, they have started approaching you guys that you should do a health survey, overall well-being of the company, right? Well-being of the company, how happy and healthy your employees feel. And they are giving so many packages of well-being packages. Similarly, we should start doing AI impact survey or AI well-being survey. AI impact survey, two survey, how AI is impacting your productivity. That's one part. And how is AI is impacting your well-being. That's other part. Both are important. So this is more relevant where AI is heavily used, as Vishal, like AI is everywhere. So there this survey becomes very, very important. That should be on a like at least initially quarterly basis, that productivity is getting increased or not, by taking pure clear surveys that yes, productivity has increased from 1x to 3x. Now well-being increased or decreased. So that should be our objectivity of the survey, and based on that, HR should create a strategy, like strategy of mitigating in case you find any, because that results will vary, depends upon the maturity of the organization. If the organization is mature and has the leaders like Vishal and where they are using AI, very meticulously and not getting overboard, but not all organizations are doing it, but they have to use it. This is necessity. So that survey will throw this thing. And as ERP used to be implemented, na? Before implementing ERP, there used to be a survey that whether your company is ERP ready or not, and if ERP is implemented, how productivity is increased or not. Many of the companies ERP was failed. So similarly, AI related survey also used to happen, and of course, it should be supported by various kinds of data analytics like absenteeism and all those things where AI is being used. And based on that, we can take some conscious decisions to neutralize the after effects of this AI implementation, and then slowly and steadily it will be completely streamlined. and those burnouts will be gone. So these burnouts will be there, but the moment how soon are we taking this action, that will decide the burnout will stay for how long, or it will be removed soon or not.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Great points. We would have loved to carry this forward and have further discussion on this. But we would have to, the time is short. We've just had 1 hour to discuss on this great topic. Thanks for everybody's active participation, active involvement. Appreciate people who have asked questions for us on chat. Faisal, I know it's 4 o'clock. Anything you would like to add and maybe conclude the entire session? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vipin. Your role as the moderator was instrumental in driving the conversation with clarity, relevance, and a perfect balance of structure and spontaneity. Your ability to guide the discussion, ask thought provoking questions, and keep the audience engaged was truly commendable. To our esteemed panelists, thank you for sharing your time, knowledge, and unique perspective on a topic that is both timely and deeply relevant. Each of you brought forth compelling insights and real world reflections that made the session not just informative but thought provoking and action oriented. For those eager to visit today's insights, the session recording is available on our YouTube link shared in the chat window. A special thanks to our event partners Geisha, NASCOM's UE, TLE, WICCI, LinkedIn Local Ahmedabad, and India for their invaluable support in making this event a success. To learn more about these associations, please refer to the link provided in the chat window. We look forward to welcoming you to our next session on the topic Talent Without Borders Managing Global Teams in a Location Agnostic World on August 14, 2025. With that, we conclude today's webinar. Thank you for being part of this journey. Wishing you good health, positivity, and success until we meet again. Take care and farewell for now.